Just wanted to let you know that this video is sponsored by Raise Energy and Rep Sports. If you want to get a good energy drink, Rep Sports is the way to go, especially with the Raise Energy brand. I've got here the limited edition Voodoo flavor and the limited edition Apollo flavor. Be sure to follow all the links down here and in the description below. Use the coupon code SALZER88 and you will get 15% off your purchase, and part of that kickback goes back to me. Thank you very much. Here's the video. Hello, welcome to MMA Freak Fight of the Week. I'm Matt Salzer, and for this week, for the Fight of the Week on TNT2, it's going to be Christian Lee, who defended his belt via a very good knockout against Timofey. So good for Christian Lee, still lightweight champion in ONE FC. Then for Bellator 257, you have Vadim Nemkov successfully defend his title against Phil Davis and advance into the light heavyweight Grand Prix. However, the Fight of the Week will go to Paul Daley, who had a very spectacular comeback against Sabah Homasi. He was in trouble in the first round, and he came back and won it. And there are actually talks about Bellator possibly doing a super welterweight title at roughly about 175. It would probably be ideal to do 177 because that's how it is in the unified rules. But that's an interesting idea to finally utilize one of those weight classes that was outlined in the unified rules but have not been used by any of the major promotions like Bellator or the UFC. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes. Then with UFC on ESPN 22, Whittaker versus Gastelum, you had Robert Whittaker going a full decision against Kelvin Gastelum. And the fighter of the week for that one, I'm actually going to give to Gerald Meerschaert for his very quick submission. So congrats to Gerald Meerschaert. And then for the previews for one on TNT3 this coming Wednesday, we have John Lineker going against Trey Worthen. John Lineker, having fought in the UFC before, he is now in ONE Championship, so we'll see how that goes. Then with the return of Professional Fighters League, in the main event we have Anthony Pettis going against Clay Collard. Collard having fought in the UFC similar to Pettis. So we'll see how this goes because there's a little bit more at stake this time around because one loss could easily end your chances in the playoffs because the playoffs are only going to be 4-man playoffs instead of the 8-man that has been happening before. So we'll see how that goes. Then UFC 261, where we finally return to fans. We finally return to arenas full of fans, and this one's going to be in Florida, Jacksonville. So in the main event, we have Kamaru Usman rematching against Jorge Masvidal. This is a rather interesting one because the idea is that Masvidal might be a little bit harder because he will actually have had cardio. So whereas in their last fight, he didn't have cardio. It was a short notice fight. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really think Masvidal deserved an immediate rematch. I think it was convincingly Usman, and I believe that Masvidal should have at least won one more fight before getting another crack at the title. But we'll just see how that goes. Partially has to do with the fact that, these are both Florida guys, so we'll just see how that goes. Then we have Zhang Weili defending her strawweight title for the first time in over a year against Thug Rose Namajunas. This is going to be interesting because Joanna and Rose are very different fighters. Joanna is the more technical fighter between the two. Not to mention she has more of a ground game, whereas Rose was more of a power puncher. I mean, she wasn't a brawler. She was definitely a powerful fighter in terms of her strikes, and she was more the technical fighter as well. But this is definitely going to be an interesting one for Zhang, and we'll just have to see how this one goes. Of note, Rose is hyping this up as a capitalist versus communist thing because of the fact that she's descended from Lithuanian immigrants, and the Lithuanians were under communist rule for the longest time. And here's Zhang coming from China, and she's officially China is still communist, but we'll just see how that goes. Then we're going to see Valentina Shevchenko going against Jessica Andrade. This is interesting because both of these fighters previously fought at bantamweight. Now, they were both undersized, but Jessica Andrade actually went all the way down to strawweight and was actually able to defend for the title. Actually won the title down there. Then Valentina jumped in to the flyweight division around the time it was being formed, so she didn't have to make that jump down there. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know if she could have. But these are both fighters that fit in the weight class relatively well, though there is a little bit of a thought that maybe Andrade might still be a little undersized for the weight class, but it's going to be a good fight because we have Andrade, who's this more powerful fighter, but Valentina, who's just the technical whiz. She's the best in the division, so we'll just see how this one goes. So yeah, that is the Fight of the Week. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what you thought of both the fights this last week and the fights coming up this week. Be sure to check out MMA-Freak.com for exclusive content. Be sure to check out at MMA Freakout on our Twitter. Be sure to check out at Matthew Salter, both my Twitter and my Instagram. Be sure to check out Raise Energy and Rep Sports for the various products. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.